when it comes down to like being in a committed relationship with somebody, and for those who are okay with being like side dudes or like side chicks, and I ain't judging or nothing like that, because I feel like some people are okay with that. Like some people have like open relationships, and I feel like that's their business. Each person will carry their own load. Some people are okay with that, some people are not, so I have an open mind about it. But I feel like one thing about me is that no one could ever say that I'm a homewrecker, because I don't go messing up nobody's home. If somebody is in a relationship, married, whatever you want to call it, and they trying to talk to me and I reject the person, not because of a loyalty type of thing towards the other person. It's more about who I am as an individual. I'm not going to be nobody's coleslaw. It's like if you in a relationship and say it's not going well, you get a divorce, you break up, you're no longer with that person, and then if we have a great connection, we can talk about it. But I'm not no home wrecker. I don't say, oh yeah, you know what, I know you in this relationship, but I don't care. Like I never said that, and I never moved like that. But I know that everybody don't think like me. Okay, there's male and female out there that wouldn't mind messing up somebody else's relationship, because that's just what it is. A lot of times I feel like, for an example, you know how some women, like, they'll get upset with a girl over a guy, and to me it's just like, at the end of the day, these dudes, they be for everybody. A lot of men, they be like, oh yeah, they love their wives. Yeah, they all say that though. But there's a lot of men that are married and so-called love their wives, and they be cheating. Vice versa, women cheat too. Let's not forget about that. There's some women out there that can be players, speakers, can talk smooth, that can, work, get a job and have things. The only difference about, from a woman's standpoint, is that a woman can't get another woman pregnant, right? But that's the only difference. Everything else can be done just as a man, and sometimes with women, a woman can like the other woman to do it because maybe she likes that woman, right? Maybe she likes how she does it, like how she puts something down or whatever it is that she's doing. Maybe she likes that. It's not always about, oh, because he's a man. No, you can do the same thing like him. It's creative ways to get something done, and if that person likes that, that's just what it is. But let's not make it seem like it's about, oh, it's always about, the man out here cheating, doing, girls wrong, because women do the same thing. They just do it in a different form. That's it. You know what I'm trying to say? But the thing I don't like is that it's always a stereotype. Men can be out here having sex with a whole bunch of chicks, hoes, whatever you want to call it. But if a woman is doing it, whether with a man or women, it's always, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that. It doesn't look good on you, and you shouldn't be like that. And it's just like, well, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be doing it either. That's being a hypocrite. It's like, if you tell somebody, you can't say don't kill when you kill, don't steal when you steal, don't cheat when you cheat. I mean, don't be a hypocrite about it. But I don't appreciate when folks out here, when they assume that I want somebody that I don't want. I don't want, if somebody is in a relationship, then I don't want you. I don't. I could be attracted to you, but once I know that you got a person, I'm going to eventually want to just move around, because I'm not going to be a third wheeler to nobody. Just like me, you shouldn't want to be a third wheeler either. And it's like in due time, right? When it comes down to, it's always a divine timing about handling matters and how you do things. But some people out here, they don't care. It's like when it's a time to do something, that's it. That's exactly what it is. It's like if you have a friend, say you at your friend's house, okay? It's you, your friend, and then your mate that's there too, your partner or whatever, right? Whether it's a girl or a boy, I don't know. And the other person, to run an errand or went into the shower or something like that or whatever have you, and then the person is, start to do sexual things with the person. Well, that just shows you that both of them is messed up, because if the man really loves you, he wouldn't have given into that anyways. He would have just said, look, I already got somebody. I'm doing something else. I'm not going to get involved in this, right? The women would have just said, you know what, oh, that's my best friend. I'm not going to, vice versa, right? It's different if it's rape, because people still do that. But I just feel like it's a lot of things out here where people are making up things and make it seem like, oh, you a homewrecker, you like this. No, your man just don't love you, love. That's all it is. He don't love you, and he was waiting. He was actually excited to cheat on you. He was joyful, actually. He was joyful to cheat on you. He didn't care about you like that, because if he did, cheating on you anyways. He at the strip club if he love you. He can, put you on the outfit and have you look the way whatever it is that he likes, he can make you like that. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I feel like at the end of the day, if he loved you so much, why he at the strip club? If he loved you so much, why he was at, so-and-so house, and, and hitting it from the back. Let's keep it real. I'm not even trying to laugh. Like, I'm being real. Okay, this is a real talk right now. Like, if that's the case, how come? Right? So just like a woman, if you love him so much, how come you always flirting with so and so? Right? Y'all always smiling, looking at each other and stuff like that. Like you giving him the eye, you getting up, he's looking at you when you walking. Like, what about that? Because it always starts with very small things that start. First, you look at him, you smiling at him, you like that, ah, hee hee ha ha, right? Little fake laugh, texting, calling on the phone, you hang out with him, and then that one particular day, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Then it goes into ease nods and who's nods and whatever have you, and clothes are on the floor, and now you're looking at each other. What you gonna do now? So the point is, I feel like it's not always about right away, but it's the small things that matter sometimes. And some people are not like that. Everybody is not a cheater. Everybody is not out to get somebody. Everybody is not a home wrecker. But you got to realize that there's people out there that really move like that. They don't care if you're best friends with them. They don't care if you're related to them. They don't care if that's your cousin. They don't care if that's your uncle. They don't care, if that's your best friend in second grade. They don't care. If they got that type of mentality. It's not about the person being a cheater, but it's about their mentality. They can try, right? It doesn't mean it's going to work. But again, like I said, it's about the mentality. You know what I'm trying to say? So some folks, they think like that. They don't think about what they're doing is wrong because, see, they don't have a good conscience. Their conscience is not working. So when they move like that to them, they don't think nothing's wrong with that. You know what I'm trying to say? Some people are going to say, look, you know what? I don't want to mess up what I got going on right now, so I'm about to just, do something else. Let me just get out, let me leave, or, whatever, right? Some folks will do that. But some folks, they got this lust. It's like temptation, and they going around, and they, and they want to do that, and they do it. They're not thinking about, once you win something and you win it, sometimes it's hard to get out. Right? Because if you're feeling good or whatever, so you can't get out because you getting involved in something, and then a lot of times you can't get yourself out of it. Then you like, man, why did I do this? If you come to my channel, you're watching this video, it depends on your mindset. You may be okay with being a homewrecker. That may not bother you. You may be happy to say, yep, that's just what I do. And some folks is like, that's not really my character. If something happened, more than likely it's probably because maybe the person lied. But it's not like me. I don't want nobody that's in a relationship. Like I said, don't get it twisted. Because some folks, you work with them, you be around them, and they start assuming, I never said I want to her. I never said I want to him. I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. Okay? I'm not a home wrecker. And more than likely, 9 times out of 10, though the person probably want me. It's not about me wanting them. Because I don't go around messing up somebody's family. I've had people that tried to come towards me. And a lot of times, folks out here, they're hoes. They don't have no dignity. And they don't care about themselves. But I was never the type to say, oh, you know what? I know you have this happy family. I'm going to just mess it up anyways. Like I said, and if somebody can do something like that, it was already messed up anyways. It just took the right opportunity for that to come out, love. It's always about the right scenario. It's like if you're going through things in your relationship and then you end up meeting up with somebody that you know that was a back burner and then you end up getting something out of it. Well, you already knew anyways. You already knew what it was. You was just waiting to that moment. All right, I'm finna call up someone's waiting. It's like a person that makes an argument for nothing because they want to go out there and do like wild type of stuff. It's just like if you wanted to do that, you should have just said that. Why wait and make up an argument or be mad in a relationship when you could just leave? Or just leave. Just go on ahead and go do what you really want to do. No one's forcing you to be in a relationship. No one's pushing you to be in a relationship. Do what you need to go do. You just can't come back over here. But I don't deal with, that type of cheating type of stuff. I feel like we're all imperfect. So, like, we all make mistakes. But giving you the benefit of the doubt. And I realize that as a pattern, like, you just don't care. And I feel like you disrespected me. Like, how would you feel like, yeah, I like, tall man that's muscular. I got a lot of money. And I'm really into men like this. With you, I won't. It's like, how would you feel if I said that? Just like men can say, all right, well, I like strippers. I like girls that wear this stuff. And, that gets me going a little bit. You're like, it's not right. You wouldn't like wipe a slut down, I guess, right? But I mean, maybe you would. I mean, who knows? It's possible, right? Because nowadays it seems like the hoes are winning. Just like they say, the nice guy finished last. The hoes are coming out on top because these guys, they talk about hoes all the time, but they chase after hoes. I wouldn't like my girl to do this, but you like the girls that looks like that though. When they be having their booty out and getting BBLs and, twerking. So then if your girl was doing the same thing, you would be like, oh, you would thought. Instagram, to be honest, Instagram is actually a dangerous app. Like, it be so much wild stuff on there. And I be scrolling, I be like, what is going on, man? Like, I feel like that app is like a demonic app. It's like when you go on Instagram and you dealing with somebody or you in a relationship, you gotta be strong. You gotta have, like, your intentions gotta be right, because if you weak, or if you don't really care about your partner like that, more than likely you will fold if the opportunity presents itself. You, for a couple of seconds, more than likely you will do it because you ain't strong like that. You have to care about your partner, and if you don't care, then more than likely you're going to give in. So, like, for me, like I said, I'm not saying I'm perfect or nothing like that, but I just feel like I'm not no home wrecker. I don't go around messing up nobody's house, home, and I feel like if that's the case, that means that y'all house was already messed up anyways. It was already, y'all was already going through something. It just took something to, really bring it out. You feel like that's something that, the other person or whoever have you need to work on themselves instead of blaming it, making me feel like I'm a home worker and I'm messing up this. And like I said, I'm not a home worker about nothing. Okay, I was, like I said, that's not even in my character. A lot of times, like I said, folks, they make up lies. Like, just imagine me, right? And I go and I'm hitting the States and I'm in Florida with it, right? And I meet somebody and I'm like, oh, I ain't got nobody, and say I'm lying, right? Hold on, way, the person that I'm around, they wouldn't know. They, the person can probably have an intuition, but like say the person just really don't know. So I'm doing that. I'm telling that person what they want to hear. That person didn't necessarily mess up the family because I'm the one that was lying. I'm the one that was, much putting a bug in that person's ear. The person didn't even know what I was doing. Then I go to a different state and I just keep doing it, right? So the point I'm making is, if I did that, that person don't know. It's different if it said, yeah, I got a family or whatever, and I'm dealing with something right now, but we just going through this little problem, X, Y, and Z, and the person's like, oh yeah, I know what you said or whatever have you, but keep rocking with you anyways, type of thing. Because I've had sometimes men were approaching me, and whether they're in a relationship or not. And for me, like say for example, a man had approached me before. He was just, like he said he was separated, and we were talking a little bit on Snapchat after a while, and I was just like, well, you said you're married, but you said you separated, right? So I said essentially you still married, and I really don't feel comfortable, still talking to you, because separation does not mean that you're not married. It's just like when you together with, like when you with somebody, but y'all just not like physically together right now. If that makes sense. So essentially you still with that person. So by me talking to you, that's still me talking to a man that's married, and I refuse to look like a homewrecker, even though you the one that's coming on to me. But if I was to allow it, it's like I'm allowing that type of, and I just don't want to do that. Not because I'm scared, but more I feel like if I was to willingly, it's different if I didn't know, right? I think. But if I knew and I give into it, then I have to, then that's like, okay, I'm going to reap what I sow, because I was also wrong too if I really didn't know. Because some people out here are really good actors, and they can really lie, like, oh, that's nobody, that's just my sister, you know what I'm trying to say, or that's just, my cousin, whatever have you. Like I said, he a part of the family, like I said, but like it's nothing though, right? Like people make up lies, and some folks really just, I don't want to call a person stupid, but sometimes they just don't be knowing, and then they go with it, and then later on they'll be like acting all funny once they get what they want, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you a hoe, and you a thought, and you was messing up my family, vice versa, like whether it's towards the female or the male. So I feel like that's a little different if the person know and they still like give into it. That's why I said that what that shows that you pretty much is a hoe, and you pretty much a thought or whatever. Because if you know somebody is with somebody or dealing with that person and you don't care and you still give into it, then you're the problem, regardless if you close to that person or not. It's about self-respect though. That means you have no respect for yourself. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I feel like I said, it's different if you don't know. If you go to a whole different country, you don't know that person, so you don't know what that person got going on, right? So it's a little different. And the person, oh, I don't got anybody, but he got a whole family somewhere in a whole different state, a whole different country somewhere, and you don't even know nothing about it because he planned it so good that you don't know. Sometimes you just don't be knowing these things. You don't know what people got going on, because some people are really good at what they do. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And so for me, that's not really a homewrecker. A homewrecker is a person that's like, oh, I know you got somebody, but call me when that person's not there, type of thing, and they willingly want to do it. Like, that's a homewrecker. Not who I am. I don't move like that. You can't ruin my reputation. I can only ruin my own. But if I don't know something, love, I just don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? But if I do know and say, hey, I don't really appreciate being your side girl. That's not the type of games I play. I know my worth. And so, it's you're going to have to come to me correct when you divorce, when y'all broke up, whatever have you. But if you still dealing with somebody, then you're going to have to figure something else out. Because I can't deal with you if you already dealing with somebody else. That's going to make me feel like I just get around, like I'm just easy. And I refuse to look like that. They will get their karma. In other words, they will, get what's coming to them, because what goes around comes back around. And that's biblically, that's spiritually, that's law, right? But at the end of the day, don't just assume, okay, because I'm a good looking woman, and then, you're going to assume that I want your man or I want your woman. No, more than likely, it's probably the other way around. I'm not chasing after nobody else's spouse. I may look at somebody and say, man, you know what? That's a beautiful person right there. And if I had the opportunity, I would love to get to know that person. Maybe that. But if that person's already in a relationship, more than likely, I'm going to probably just fall back and move around a little bit, because I don't want to be a third really with, to nobody. For folks to even say something like that, it's just like, you honestly really don't even know me. And then I feel like every time when it comes down to certain things like that, they be twisting my words and making it seem like I want somebody in that way. That's why I said, and I never came off to her like that anyways.
You know, I never said I wanted her, but somehow they're making up rumors saying I wanted somebody, even work with somebody in a professional manner without them, you know, for them to be saying I actually want that person. And it usually be the other way around. That's why I said, and that's why if you're in a relationship, you know, to keep me out of it. Work together. I don't mind having a conversation with somebody, but sometimes I can't even do that no more because they always twist my words up, making it seem like I'm a home wrecker. Like I said, girl, I mind my business. I'm reserved. I'm quiet. Home wrecker where? I don't even get around like that. I'm real loyal. I'm a very loyal person. I make mistakes for sure. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, maybe close. I'm not perfect. I do my best for sure, but I just feel like they keep on making it seem like I get around, or that I'm, like I said, and I don't. I'm not stressed out. If I right now, since I've been through certain things in my life, if I know, like if I feel like somebody put my energy, I'm going to communicate with the person and figure out if there's a resolution. After a while, if I feel like it's not working out, I'm gonna just, you know, remove myself from the person, and then I'm gonna just like leave. I'm not waiting 50 years, 10 years, you know, for the person to change their mind to get it right, because it's always going to be that other person that's going to get it right. I shouldn't have to be worried every night. Is he cheating on me again? Is she doing this? Is she doing that? I don't got time for that. That's toxic, and I'm not going to stress myself out about anything that I cannot control.